Gilmore Girls and Mad Men. Have you ever noticed how many actors worked on both shows? Do you know why? I can answer that. Hi, I'm Valerie Campbell. I was the key set costumer on Gilmore Girls, and I also worked on Mad Men for a tiny bit. Worked the middle to the end of one season and the very beginning of the next. First, how did I get the job? Well, I was working on a show with Katherine Hahn called Free Agents, and it got canceled after 9 episodes. We're filming in a place called LA Center Studios. LA Center Studios is a very cool place. It centers around a building that was owned by Union Oil. It was built in 1958, so it was the perfect location for them to film Mad Men. A lot of the office building stuff that wasn't on stage, like hallway scenes or exterior offices that we don't really see that much, were filmed inside that building. Because we were working at the same place and Mad Men had a lot of costumers, one of them was one of my friends, and I was like, hey, we just got canceled. If you need extra help, let me know. I'm available. Now, Mad Men was a very secretive production, but there was a lot of people running around in 1950s and 60s period clothing, so it was pretty easy to figure out that that's what the show was. Plus, we literally saw the actors park their cars, and John Slattery, when he gets out of a car, looks like he's a surfer dude, which kind of blows your mind the first time you see it. I ended up getting hired on Mad Men as a day checker costumer. This is a person that works one day and then never works again, except I pretty much worked the rest of the show. Maybe I had a day off here and there, but whenever there was a large background scene, I, along with a couple other people, were responsible for finding outfits for all those backgrounds. How does that work? Okay. First, we'd have a little meeting with Janie Bryant, who is the costume designer of the show, and she would say, this is what I'm looking for. This is the color palette. We'd go pull outfits, put it on a rack, and we would gather all of the clothes at Western Costume. And for 1 or 2 days, we would fit all of the background that were going to be in that scene. We'd take pictures of them. We'd show the pictures to Janie, and Janie would go through those outfits and say, no, I want this person in this thing and that person in that thing. And sometimes she'd even change something we had put on one person and said, no, put this on that lady. Then I would follow those clothes back to set, and whenever they filmed those scenes, I would be there on set with those actors. If the FYP didn't show you that video I did about Alexis, it's up on my YouTube. Be sure to watch it later, but this moment takes place right after, and it is going to explain the why. So the day that we filmed that scene, Alexis and I were on set, and we were giggling, and the creator of Mad Men came up to me and was like, who are you? And I was like, well, I worked on Gilmore Girls with Alexis. So he was a huge Gilmore Girl fan, obviously, because he hired a lot of people from Gilmore Girls, including John Hamm. And anytime I saw Matt after that, he was like, hi, Valerie. A few months after the show wrapped, I got invited to the premiere party at Cole's French Dip, which is this little restaurant downtown where we filmed some of the scenes. It was a very unofficial party, but some of the actors showed up, including the creator of the show and some of the writers. I brought with me Renee Bell, who played Lulu on Gilmore Girls. And I remember seeing Matt there, and I introduced Renee and Matt, and I remember him freaking out because, literally, he was the hugest Gilmore Girl fan. Now, with him was one of the writers that I knew from Gilmore Girls, Janet Leahy. Matt then told me how much he loved Gilmore Girls, so much that he hired quite a few people from our show to be on his. But he also told me another story about how when he was working on The Sopranos, he paid homage to Amy Sherman Palladino. Full disclosure, I didn't have HBO, so I never watched The Sopranos, but he went on to explain that there was a scene that took place at the Oscars or Emmys or some kind of award show, and he had the costume department dress a character, a giant hat, and full Amy style. If you've ever seen an award show where Amy's at, you will know what I'm talking about.